We have spoken about Manchester United's midfield to an extent that I'm actually tired of talking about Manchester United's midfield or potential midfield in the summer. We have spoken about the likes of Elliot Anderson, Sandro Tonali, Carlos Baleba, Adam Wharton. We have spoken about every single thing in that situation, and I've exhausted what we could talk about in that stuff. But with the new news that have started and came up 2 days ago by James Ducker in the Telegraph, I believe, today we are going to be talking about someone that I actually absolutely love, Aurélien Tchouaméni. Now, the truth about it is that not a lot of people understand who this player is. We all know and loved what he did in Monaco that kind of got him the move to Real Madrid. And at that time, Manchester United actually wanted to buy Aurélien Tchouaméni. However, we did not get him, and he absolutely chose to go to Real Madrid. And it was a good thing because he's a Champions League winner now, and I believe a La Liga winner also. But Manchester United then went and got Casemiro. I'm giving you the context in this situation. We went and got Casemiro, and we got Casemiro where he was turning 31, I believe. And Casemiro right now, and I can absolutely say, has been a success for Manchester United. Not a success where we won leagues with Casemiro, but a success where we won a Carabao Cup and an FA Cup. And in my mind, that's Casemiro doing his job. And especially because he's going to be living on terms that every single person will believe Casemiro is not just a legend, but a cult hero at Manchester United. So, Real Madrid, understanding that their legendary number 6, arguably one of the best midfielders in Real Madrid history, has left the club. They brought in Aurélien Tchouaméni to replace him. Now, Tchouameni was coming from Monaco, and every single person touted him to be the next big thing, the next Casemiro, if you please. And right now, he is 26 years of age. He has been there, he has done it, and he has absolutely been crucial for Real Madrid's titles over the years. Now, Aurélien Tchouameni is coming to a position where Real Madrid is going into what feels like a necessary and a mandatory rebuild. And that rebuild might absolutely bring the likes of the Ballon d'Or winner in Rodri. And that goes into his position. Now, he is such a versatile player that he can play the 6, he can play the 8, he can also play the back half, the centre back, basically. But the truth about it is that with Rodri coming in, potentially, allegedly, it would release Tchouameni to actually go to a different club. Now, Tchouameni is somebody that I believe Real Madrid can still use. 26 years of age, an elite number 6 defensive midfielder, and also play in the centre-back position. There's always a place for someone like that in every team. But the truth about it is, at some point, Tchouameni would have to play his position and actually have to play it in a team that depends on him and a team that absolutely would love and cherish the things that he brings to the team. And so this brings me to who is Aurélien Tchouaméni? And that's what we're going to break down to you for you in Pillar to Post. We are going to be talking about the player. We're going to be talking about absolutely every single thing you need to know about the player and why Manchester United are looking at him to bring him to the theatre of dreams. So let's start. Like I've already mentioned in the video, Aurélien Tchouaméni is 26 years of age. Elite number 6 player. He's a defensive midfielder, of course, when it comes to trade, and can also play a centre-back position. Of course, he plays for Real Madrid, and we all know that. And also, the French national team, I believe right now, he is a starting number 6 for them. And of course, Didier Deschamps always loves having N'Golo Kante because Kante brings something, and the experience Kante has is second to none. But what is this profile? What is the profile of Aurélien Tchouaméni? Right now, we know for a fact he is a ball-winning, a possessional, intelligent player that understand what press resistance is and the physical dominance that he can absolutely bring to a team. So let me break it down just so we can understand it again. He is a ball-winning player. He's someone that has a positional intelligence to absolutely play in what feels like any team in the world. He's press resistant to an extent because of his calm and his ability to play 1-2 touches. And last but not least, he has a physical dominance that makes sure that people do not run him over. And he absolutely imposes that dominance in the right positions at the right time. He is literally the one that they signed to replace Casemiro, Real Madrid. And now Manchester United want to replace Casemiro again. This point is poetic. and of course strategic. And I think Manchester United are in the right vein of form to get the right person to replace Casemiro Henrique. Now, the question is, why does Manchester United want him? Because we all know what Casemiro brings, and we all appreciate what Casemiro brings, but we would have to start what we would be missing from Casemiro when he leaves. You understand? This is also going to be a tactical reset for Manchester United. Casemiro is a specific type of number six. United right now are planning a midfield rebuild, potentially signing 2 to 3 midfielders. Casemiro is leaving, and of course, he is declining. A massive vacuum will be at the base. And Aurélien Tchouaméni is seen as the closest like in football when it comes to Casemiro. We have seen arguably the best team in the world in Real Madrid buy him for that exact purpose. So now let's absolutely ask the question, what are the structural problems that he is going to solve for Manchester United? With Manchester United, we have simple issues that we can absolutely pinpoint in every game that we lose and sometimes in every game that we even win. Manchester United have a problem when it comes to transitional defense. That's literally chaos for us. We have a problem when it comes to midfield spacing. It's always broken. It always feels like the next man is a little bit too far from where they should be. And of course, we lack physical presence. Casemiro is definitely a strong man. He's definitely somebody that wins his aerial duels. But Casemiro, when it comes to covering the entire blade of grass, it's not going to be able to do it for too long. He's 34 years of age, so we cannot expect Unk to keep doing it. But bringing Aurélien Tchouaméni, and I love pronouncing his full name so every single person can absolutely get used to it, especially if he comes to Manchester United, because you will be hearing it a lot. He brings a defensive cover in wide areas that absolutely the likes of Diego Dalot and Luke Shaw would absolutely need. He screens the backline in a perfect way that you would absolutely be proud of. In fact, I can actually say that he screens it a little bit better, if not a lot better, than Casemiro. You understand? He wins duels consistently. In fact, he is in the 95th percentile on how much he wins his aerial duels. He allows the attacking midfielders to go on and thrive, still keeping his position without having the will or the want to go forward to do the same. That is Aurélien Tchouaméni. Somebody that knows his position, knows his place in the team, and is absolutely going to be leading by example. Now, Aurélien Tchouaméni is not a smug. He is not a scrub. Beyonce would not even be able to say that about him, or Destiny Child, whatever you want to think about. He has elite pedigree. He is a Champions League winner, he's a World Cup finalist, and he has played in the high pressure systems that absolutely were pushed to the limit. You saw him play in the system that Xavi Alonso brought to Real Madrid. You saw him play in the system that Carlo Ancelotti put. You saw him play in the system that Abaloa Town has put in. He has been able, versatile enough, intelligent enough to play in any system that he has been required to play in. And so bringing him into Manchester United would not only be a good thing, but he would absolutely tell every single person that this is not just a project player. He's a plug and play elite. Someone that the moment you bring him in, the moment you start him, is going to be going. Is going to be green. There's no stopping him in this situation. But in this kind of case, the question is always going to be, if Real Madrid, if he's this elite, why would Real Madrid let him go? Why might Real Madrid sell? Now, of course, I literally already mentioned that I believe there's going to be a midfield haul. I believe there's going to be a revolution, a rebuilding in Real Madrid. Especially they went 2 years without winning a title. The midfield overhaul is definitely coming. Real Madrid are chasing names like Rodri and Enzo Fernandez. To fund that, they need a big sale. And Tchouameni becomes expendable in a luxury squad. And not just that, not just Tchouameni, we're also hearing the words Camavinga come up too. We all know how Camavinga suffered in that last game, in that second leg against Bayern Munich. And I might have seen some pictures that he has actually even shaved his head. That's to tell you how focused he wants to be. But the truth about it is that a lot of things are going to change for Real Madrid. And because they are going to change for Real Madrid, a lot of collateral damage will happen. So then let's ask another thing. Performance questions. What are the performance questions? Why is it that Aurélien Tchouaméni is not a guaranteed even through the rebuilding process? Now, not fully convincing as Toni Kroos or Modric's successor, which he really wasn't. Not Kamavinga, but Tchouameni was asked to be also a creative deep line playmaker. It's not Tchouameni's job. It's not something that we knew or something that he has in his game. His possibility to arrive late at the box, he does have the striking ability to absolutely put the ball in the back of the net. And just a little facts for people to understand. This thing that Marcus Rashford used to do, he started it first. And so, one thing is for sure. Aurelio Tchouameni is not coming to Manchester United to be the next Bruno Fernandes or the next. No, he's coming to be anchor. He's coming to be the physical. He's coming to be the wall. He's coming to absolutely show up, give us physicality that we haven't gotten in a long time. Now, Tchouameni is still in contract with Real Madrid. He signed until 2028. So Real Madrid hold power. It is literally, you're looking at, if I'm not mistaken, 3 years, maybe 2 years in terms of contract. You understand? In translation for this particular thing, they don't have to sell. They don't have to give any discount. And unless the price is right, Tchouameni is not leaving. So now looking at the money side, because we absolutely have to talk about it, because this is pillar to post. We cover every angle that you would need to understand this transfer window. The expected fee for Aurelio Tchouameni to Manchester United will be around £70 million, which is in the range of 80 million euros, I believe. The wages are definitely going to be high, but it's within Manchester United's new structure. You understand? That is where it's going to be stuck in. I think it's going to be in the category of where Kobe Mainoo just got bumped into. United's budget is definitely dependent on the Champions League and outgoings like Casemiro and others like Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, and the rest of them. This is a statement signing. I want you guys to understand this. Aurelio Tchouameni is literally in the caliber of the likes of Sandro Tonali. Now, Sandro Tonali has a little bit of an edge because he has played in the Premier League, and Tchouameni hasn't. But when we are talking about physicality, when we're talking about athleticism, when we're talking about technical ability, Tchouameni has just as much as Tonali does. And when it comes to Elliot Anderson, I don't think Elliot Anderson actually touches his boot at this point. But we'll see. I might be going off on a tangent in that situation. But let's look at the tactical fit at Manchester United, because we are going to give you three scenarios. We believe this will be able to work. First scenario is, of course, going to be the double pivot. This is not most likely situation. Aurelio Tchouameni, a progressive midfield, which frees up the likes of Bruno Fernandes profiles. That means Aurelio Tchouameni on one side, Kobe Mainoo on the second, as a double pivot, and then you have Bruno Fernandes being the number 10 that goes forward. And then scenario B, which is the second scenario, is going to be as a lone six, an elite in that situation. He anchors the midfield alone. He allows two advanced number eights to go forward. That would be Kobe Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes, or you João Gomes or Carlos Baleba. You understand? I truly believe that Carlos Baleba is a talented player, or maybe you can even think about Angelo Stiller. All these names are absolutely there, but you do need three midfielders this season. And then in that system where he plays the lone six, he also allows the two eights to go forward. This leads us to now scenario C, which is an emergency centre back cover. Manchester United right now are in a centre back crisis where we do not have Matthijs de Ligt. We do not have Lisandro Martinez. We do not have Harry Maguire. We do not have Lenny Euro. Our four top centre backs are all out. And we literally, in the last game against Chelsea, had to use Aiden Heaven and Nosei Mazarawi, who played well, by the way. We need to give them credit. However, Tchouameni is somebody that is absolutely proficient in playing in that centre back role. He has played it so many times for Real Madrid. In fact, Under Xavi Alonso, hand, he was the right-sided centre back in the back three. That's how good he is in playing those roles. Because he is such a defensive-minded person, but understands when he needs to ping the ball and create opportunities, ping the ball and bypass lanes, ping the ball and literally take 2 to 3 people out of the game. That is Aurélien Tchouaméni. You understand? That's a huge bonus for Manchester United. You understand? So what does he change immediately? Because that's also things that we need to see. Manchester United, of course, one would become harder to play through just because of his presence. Second would be his defensive transition stabilize. He stabilize the defensive transitions. He's going to bring, he's pacey enough. He understands positioning. He understands defensive on the front foot, defensive in the back foot. And he's truly, truly magnificent when it comes to those situations. And of course, the fullbacks absolutely have the license to go forward, understanding that they have the backing of Aurélien Tchouaméni. This right here, his bringing himself into Manchester United will be game changer. It will be a system changing signing. But the key part about this is that it also triggers a domino effect. If Tchouameni arrives at Manchester United, we are going to have likely winners and, of course, likely losers. The likely winners, of course, will be the attacking midfielders, more freedom, like Bruno Fernandes, not having to be able to or needing to track back as often. Centre backs will have less exposure, so the likes of Lenny Yoro would have cover when he's meeting a very difficult player like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The manager, he also then have tactical flexibility. You can use this guy as a Swiss Army knife. That is what he's going to be. But then the likely losers, the fringe midfielders, the likes of Jim Thwaite, those players, Ugarte, I don't think they're going to get playing time as much. Any lightweight profiles would absolutely be scrubbed from the team because you need to put in the physicality of what this guy is going to bring if he joins Manchester United. Now, Manchester United are not the only person looking at this player. We are going to have competition whether we like it or not. United are not alone. Liverpool FC have long-term had interest on Aurélien Tchouaméni, and other elite clubs are of course monitoring this, and this could turn into a bidding war. Manchester United cannot afford a bidding war whatsoever. But don't get me wrong, with every transfer window, even how we have literally glazed him and talked about all the positive he's going to bring to Manchester United, it also comes with risk. And the risks are real. They are real. You understand? He's not the creative number six. Not like Angelo Stiller that can absolutely break a pass and create assist from the number six position. He is not Rodri in the build-up. He needs a partner that can dictate game. That is why you saw the likes of Connie Cruz being absolutely missed when he retired. Missed. So he's not the person that is going to start the game from the build-up. He's not going to start the first phase. That it has to be Kobe Menu. Kobe Menu has to be the one dropping in to get the ball. But the moment they get the ball to him in the middle of the park, it's absolutely going to be go time. It's going to be a situation where he's going to get the opportunity to start dictating play the way we want him to. But that doesn't mean that he's not press resistant. It just means that the line breaking passes, the opportunity, if pressed, he's not the best at it. Now, another thing that is also a risk is his adaptation to the Premier League. It's a faster tempo, it's a physical duel kind of league. Seen that before. He played in Monaco in the French league that is a little bit similar when it comes to physicality, but the tempo is totally different. And then he went to Real Madrid that the tempo is totally different. The physicality is totally different. It's more of a tactical chess match in La Liga. And of course, third but not least, is price versus output. Manchester United, of course, are going to be going for him, and the price, I believe, is going to be around £70 million, which means expectations. And that would also then qualify us to say, or qualify the fans to say, look, we want world class immediately. We have spent the money. We have gone to get Aurélien Tchouaméni. We want world class. And we would not be wrong by asking that. But the truth about it is that we need to start looking at the bigger picture as fans. This isn't just a signing. Because if he arrives at Manchester United, This is right here going to be a midfield identity shift from having a veteran in Casemiro to having somebody moving into his prime that is that talented, that can compete when it comes to quality like Rodri. We would be moving from chaos into control. That would mean that Manchester United would want to keep the ball more, but still have the threat of transitions, just like how we did under Sir Alex. And last but not least, it would signal that United want to compete, both structurally in the team and in the league, but also when it comes to winning the big trophies. We want to get it. You understand? So if Manchester United can pull this off, they would not just be replacing Casemiro, they will be rebuilding the spine of the team. But here's the twist. The deal doesn't depend on Manchester United. It depends on Real Madrid and the next manager that they are going to have. You understand? That's what it depends on. If Real Madrid goes for Rodri, I believe they let Tchouameni go. If they do not go for Rodri, they do not let Tchouameni go. You understand? If Madrid land their new midfielder, the door definitely opens. Man United must be ready to kick it down and kick it down sooner than anybody else. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit that. See you in the next one.